Jimmy Uso visibly upset after female star humiliates him. Best and worst of WWE SmackDown. Update on plans for WWE Women's Champion Io Sky. Vince McMahon threatened to release 46-year-old star. AEW veteran confirms he is still friends with Vince McMahon. Seth Rollins takes a shot at Roman Reigns after WWE SmackDown. Roman Reigns drops the titles before WrestleMania 40. Let's jump right into it. Best and worst of WWE SmackDown. WWE SmackDown was another enthralling and nail-biting edition with the ignition of new feuds and title defenses. With Fastlane not too far away, the build-up and anticipation left the wrestling fraternity on the edge of their seats. Here's a list of the best and worst from the latest edition of SmackDown. Number 5. Best. New member teased for LUO. Dragon Lee already made an impressionable main roster debut in his match against Dominic. He was ringside for Rey Mysterio's title match on SmackDown. The Master of 619 defended the United States Championship against fellow El Duo member Santos Escobar. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits walked out to wreak havoc following their match. Dragon Lee tried to intervene but was prevented by security from going over the ringside barricade. If the 28-year-old lucrative feuds with Bobby Lashley, it would be fitting that he joins forces with Rey Mysterio and the group to take the Almighty and his group down a notch. Number 4. Worst. Bayley's SmackDown loss and accepting title defense on Io Sky's behalf. On SmackDown, Charlotte Flair confronted Bayley before their singles match. She pointed out how she went from a go-getter and the 4 horsewoman to hanging around Io Sky and not bothering to contend for a title shot. Flair then challenged for the WWE Women's Championship at Fastlane 2023. Following her loss, Bayley grabbed a mic and trash-talked Flair while the remainder of Damage Control was gearing up for an attack. Asuka ran out to even the odds before Bayley accepted the challenge for a triple threat match at Fastlane 2023. Io Sky did not hide her shock and disbelief at what transpired. This incident could also lead to the role model possibly creating an implosion and conclusion of Damage Control. Number 3. Best. Jimmy Uso's subtle dig at Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Jimmy Uso's destructive path in recent weeks on SmackDown indicates his predicating on his actions and attacks. While it seems he may be trying to remind the wrestling fraternity that he has not entirely adhered to the bloodline following his actions at SummerSlam. While Paul Heyman was addressing the WWE Universe on their upcoming Fastlane match, Jimmy Uso mocked Roman Reigns by asking for the mic. The wise man was hesitant but gave in. Uso then discussed how John Cena feared him, hence his absence from the blue brand. He was interrupted by Carl Anderson, who attacked him to gain vengeance for his actions against AJ Styles the previous week on the blue brand. Jimmy Uso certainly has his path and already planted seeds for a confrontation with Roman Reigns. Number 2. Worst. Bobby Lashley's displeasure with the Street Profits. Bobby Lashley seemed to have mega plans when taking Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford under his wing. However, their recent losses have not favored their allegiance towards the Almighty. He was a special guest on the Grayson Waller Effect on SmackDown and cited that he was done with the former tag team champions. Waller suggested he should consider mentoring Austin Theory before the Street Profits walk out to attempt a reconciliation. The trio's alliance seems to be on the verge of ending as it barely began. They should consider extending their duration as all members have a lot to prove and a long list of blockbuster feuds as a stable. Number 1. Best. LA Knight's SmackDown return and revelation as John Cena's tag team partner at Fastlane 2023. John Cena was left furious in the aftermath of last week's events. His appearance on the blue brand this week seemed blurry in light of transportation issues he had as announced by Paul Heyman. The Cenation leader arrived backstage in a Mustang and briskly walked into the arena, contract in hand. He cited his resistance to backing down despite Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa's assault. The duo pounced on Cena before LA Knight ran out to aid him. The 40-year-old signed the contract, becoming John Cena's partner at Fastlane 2023. This proves to be a major step for Knight's push in WWE and possibly taking him a step closer to a feud with the Bloodline in the long run. What was your favorite part from tonight's edition of SmackDown? Sound off in the comments. Update on plans for WWE Women's Champion Io Sky. Io Sky is rumored to be defending the WWE Women's Championship in a big match soon. Sky captured the WWE Women's Championship last month at SummerSlam in Detroit. Asuka entered the premium live event as champion and defended the title against Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair in a triple threat match. Belair picked up the win, but Sky quickly cashed in her Money in the Bank contract on the EST and won the title after connecting with a moonsault off the top rope. According to the Insider Wrestling account BWE on social media, Io Sky is set to defend the title in a triple threat match. It was not disclosed when the match will occur, but the next premium live event on the calendar is WWE Fastlane on October 7th. Io Sky has also faced Asuka and Charlotte Flair in triple threat matches at live events this past week. Wrestling legend Conan recently claimed that Io Sky does not have an interesting character on SmackDown. Sky captured the Money in the Bank contract on July 1st in London. She did so by handcuffing Bayley to Becky Lynch and then climbed over the leader of Damage Control to retrieve the briefcase suspended suspended above the ring. Sky received a tremendous reaction from the WWE Universe when she won the match, but her title reign has left much to be desired. Speaking on Keeping It 100, the veteran claimed he was initially interested in Sky's storyline when she won the title but no longer finds her character interesting on SmackDown. She has no charisma, and I am into her storyline now. Well, I was into it because she just cashed in that Money in the Bank thing, but they are separating her and Bayley, and it's kind of funny how her and Bayley were going back and forth and doing one-upmanship. But yeah, she's not an interesting character whatsoever. Io Sky is an incredible talent in the ring, and her title reign would become much more enjoyable with a compelling storyline presented on television to accompany it. It will be interesting to see how long Sky can hold onto the WWE Women's Championship on SmackDown moving forward. Have you enjoyed the genius of the Sky's title reign so far? Sound it off in the comments section below. Vince McMahon threatened to release 46-year-old star. Vince McMahon once went off on a WWE superstar after he had a bad match on TV. Maven and Christopher Nowinski were among the mainstays on WWE TV back in the early 2000s. The duo wrestled each other on a bunch of occasions on Raw and Sunday Night Heat. Maven recently revealed that Vince McMahon was angry at him after he had had a bad match with Nowinski on Raw. McMahon gave him a piece of his mind immediately after he came back through the curtain. We had 6 minutes to go out there, and in my own opinion, I put out a stinker. I was going through the motion. I was probably thinking about an extended vacation, and I was looking forward to a few extra days at home. As soon as I came back through the curtain, who was there to greet me? But Vince McMahon. He told me during my break I needed to decide if this was the career that I wanted to be in, because after putting a match like that out there for the public to see, it wasn't something that he was going to stand for. Maven was pretty excited about the vacation that he was about to get. However, the incident with McMahon turned those few days into a stressful situation for the WWE superstar. Maven came back to WWE TV with a changed attitude. He made sure that no matter which show he wrestled on, he was going to give everything he had in the ring. Maven did quite well as a mid-carder, but never became a top main event star. Drop your reactions to Maven's story about his backstage talk with McMahon in the comments section below. AEW veteran confirms he is still friends with Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon has made friends with lots of wrestlers and behind-the-scenes personnel throughout his 4 decades in charge of WWE. Jim Ross, a key member of McMahon's backstage team in the 1990s and 2000s, recently discussed his friendship with the WWE executive chairman. Ross worked for WWE for a combined 23 years between 1993 and 2019. Although he is best known as a commentator, the AEW announcer also played a huge part in assembling WWE's talent roster. On his Grill and Jar podcast, Ross addressed whether he still considers McMahon a friend. Absolutely. Vince did a lot of great things for me. He was very pro-family. He and Jan Ross' late wife had a good relationship. She went to the gym every day, so if you go to the gym at Titan Towers, WWE headquarters, every day you're bound to see Vince at some point in time. Ross also spoke on this week's podcast about the time Vince McMahon informed him of his release from WWE in 2013. Although Jim Ross did not always agree with Vince McMahon's perspective on wrestling, he respects how successful his former boss went on to become. Ross added that the money McMahon paid him in WWE set him up for the rest of his life. Vince is a friend, and you can't not consider a guy a friend. I mean, he made me a lot of money. Conrad Grill and Jar host Conrad Thompson. When I left, I was set. I had stock, I had options. I didn't even understand a lot of it, but I got versed on it for sure. But no, he's still a friend in that regard. I wish him nothing but the best. Ross clarified that he and McMahon no longer speak, but he does not think their lack of contact has affected their long-time friendship. What are your thoughts on Jim Ross? Let us know in the comments section below. Seth Rollins takes a shot at Roman Reigns after WWE SmackDown. Seth Rollins has a long history with Roman Reigns, more than most wrestlers on the roster. The two WWE superstars started off together on the main roster as members of The Shield, along with Dean Ambrose, and are currently holding the 2 biggest titles in the company on their respective brands. However, there has always been a rivalry between the two, and Seth Rollins chose to take a shot at Reigns after this week's episode of SmackDown. Ever since Jey Uso quit the Bloodline and superkicked Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief has not been seen on TV. He's been mostly absent, leaving the fans with just other members of the Bloodline and the issues within the faction. Given his long absence, fans have been complaining about the lack of the biggest star on the Friday night SmackDown shows. Seth Rollins decided to take a shot during SmackDown at Reigns' absence as well. Talking about everything the fans had seen on the show, he mentioned how Cena and LA Knight marked their presence on the blue brand. He then talked about how the undisputed WWE Universal Champion had also been present on the show, but then eventually took a pause to insult the Tribal Chief. You got LA Knight. Guys, you got the greatest of all time, John Cena. You got the Universal Champion. Moreover, after the pause, Rollins looked around meaningfully, making sure that the fans understood he was taking a shot at Roman Reigns for not marking his presence despite being the undisputed Universal Champion and being the biggest superstar on the blue brand. What do you think about this banter from Seth Rollins? Sound off in the comments section below. Roman Reigns drops the titles before WrestleMania 40. The current undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, is arguably the next megastar the company has produced over the past few years. However, fans believe that there is a strong possibility that the Tribal Chief might drop the titles ahead of WrestleMania 40 after discovering a new report. Earlier this year, Roman Reigns overcame one of the biggest challenges of his career as the champion when he defeated Cody Rhodes with the help of Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania 39. However, the Tribal Chief started losing power within the bloodline, and the stable eventually lost the power it once had. According to a new report from WAR, the company is currently grooming LA Knight for a title match against the champion. With Knight's current stardom, fans believe that the management is looking to push him to the moon, and Roman Reigns could possibly drop the titles to him before WrestleMania 40. Fans have been asking for the Tribal Chief to drop the titles for a while now and believe LA Knight could do it. The rumored match is set to occur somewhere before WrestleMania 40, which made them believe that Roman Reigns could drop the titles before reaching Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Last month, Jimmy Uso turned heel and tried to rejoin the bloodline after the undisputed WWE Universal Champion went on a hiatus. During his recent run, he feuded with AJ Styles on Friday Night SmackDown and lost. After his loss, Solo Sikoa faced the phenomenal 1-1. While Jimmy was not back in the stable, Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa started to trust in the star during the Tribal Chief's absence. Later, the two took out AJ Styles in a backstage brawl and sent him away on a stretcher. They ended the show by attacking John Cena and signing the dotted line for a tag match at WWE Fastlane 2023. The Phenomenal One will likely go after the bloodline, specifically Reigns and his titles. The story has been built in the Tribal Chief's absence, but it was clearly set up to put forth a new challenger for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Meanwhile, the new report also suggests LA Knight is currently groomed for a match against the champion. Fans also do not want Knight's momentum to disappear with a loss. It will be interesting to see what happens next on the blue brand ahead of Fastlane 2023. What are your thoughts on Roman Reigns' current run? Sound off in the comments section below. Jimmy Uso visibly upset after female star humiliates him. The Bloodline got a big win on WWE SmackDown tonight, but that didn't make it a good night. One of them got humiliated by a female star and then looked visibly upset. It resulted in a backstage rampage after that, which saw several bystanders end up on the wrong side. The female star herself, though, Mia Yim, was unharmed. Jimmy Uso had a match against Carl Anderson after the latter attacked him, interrupting the Bloodline's promo earlier. While Uso got away with the win, he couldn't celebrate for long. Instead, things went wrong for him. After the match, as he was going backstage, Mia Yim slapped him, very annoyed about what happened to Carl Anderson and Styles' hospitalization. Jimmy Uso was left holding his face, and the Bloodline member looked visibly upset. In the WWE backstage area, he snapped, losing his temper completely. He attacked bystanders who had done nothing to him to prove a point. He even attacked Ashant the Adonis while B-Fab looked on, and Solo Sikoa joined him in the assault too. The message was sent, and he was not in a good place. Yim herself was not touched, but WWE fans will have to wait to see what's next for the star and how the Bloodline reacts. What was your thought on the assault? Sound off in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing